What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is May 8th today. A lot of people are upset now in the comments because the videos are a week or more behind between when I'm shooting them and when I'm posting them. Once again, it does not matter what you do. If you put yourself out in the public like this, people are just going to hate what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you do. It you If I start going back to doing videos in real time where I shoot in the morning and then I get it posted by the middle of the day, people are going to be like, "Why aren't you putting a week delay on your videos? Why do you got to post them on the same day you shoot them?" And they're going to get all mad about that. If I make short videos, people get mad that the videos are too short. You make long videos, people get mad that the videos are too long. So I say this all the time. Hold on a second. People are going to be mad that I had to grab the phone with my other hand and scratch an itch just now, and I didn't edit it out because I don't have time to sit and edit videos all day. Um, People are going to be mad that this stupid pillow on this chair, this cheap ass chair, looks stupid in the video. People are, it don't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Someone's going to find something to bitch about. It totally doesn't matter. My advice is if you want to do something, do it. Just get up and do it. Um, Unfortunately, the only reason my channel got any kind of play in the beginning was because I was homeless. And people are like, "Oh, wow, let's take a look at this train wreck and see what's going on." Um, I think I wouldn't be doing it right now, day after day, if, the first couple of videos that I shot, all of a sudden, within a few days, I was getting 4,000 views on it, almost 4,000 views on a video. And I'm like, for like just being homeless for a few days talking about it, I was like, whoa, that's a lot for someone who just started a YouTube channel the other day. And in 60 days, I think it was, I reached 1,000 subscribers and could monetize the channel. And it says, YouTube says that it takes an average of 15 months before channels reach their first 1,000 subscribers, and which that's, a year and 3 months. And May 18th, I think, would be the 1 year anniversary of the first video on this channel. Because I was homeless on May 17th, but I didn't shoot a video until the next day. The first day that I was homeless was chaos. And I would say I for all the way from, what was it? Well, from like 6 in the morning until, I'm gonna say somewhere around 5 in the afternoon, 7 in the evening. Like, I can't even think of when I would have had time on that day to sit down and shoot a video, like straight talk video. I was so confused. I had no idea. I didn't know what to say. I didn't have any idea what to even. I had no idea what to do. And I remember that night. It was about 7 o'clock. Um, it was after. I don't even know if I ate dinner at the homeless shelter that night. I feel like I didn't know. I remember eating a shitty sub at 7-Eleven that day. Um, and I remember having a Gatorade in my hand when I came into the homeless shelter. Because I went to the homeless shelter, I got checked in, like registered, I got all my stuff figured out, and then I decided I just need to go for a walk and like just blah, like just let it, like just absorb, like just I was in shock. I was in total shock that day. Um, so I remember leaving the homeless shelter. They said when you come back, um, just they said come back at a certain time, or by a certain time, and I decided to make sure I had eaten. And I remember I had a Gatorade bottle in my hand when I walked in the homeless shelter, and they were like, "Oh, you can't have that." And I remember the woman, this woman who ran the place was really cool, and I liked her a lot. But when I came back, she was gone in a bunch. And the other dude, now this other guy who worked there, I liked him too. He was really cool. But there were some people there that if I had that Gatorade bottle in my hand when I walked in the door, they'd have pounced on it and been screaming at me about it. But I didn't know. I didn't know I couldn't bring a fucking Gatorade. But then again, I guess it's like, somebody could have filled it with hooch and turned it into a booze fest. Um, so that's why they don't want you bringing anything in from outside unless it's water. Um, oh man, that place. Um, so anyway, that first day was rough, man, and it was such a I'm sitting in that space right now, like just feeling what it felt like that day, like reliving it, and like I've been doing a lot since April 3rd. The landlord, that's the day he came after me and started this whole saga that I'm in right now. I'm hoping that it wraps up this month. I'm still waiting to hear about the apartment that I looked at on Sunday. And I remember, the guy said, it might be Saturday this week that I find out one way or another, and it looks like he's sticking to that. It's Thursday now. And I'm not trying to be a pest. I sent him one text message on Tuesday afternoon. I said, I'm really interested. Let me know. I don't know the exact words, but I was very professional and friendly. I just said, I'm very interested. I would like to make a whatever I said, it was just, I just wanted him to know. I'm down. Let's do it. um, if I've applied or I apply, I have reached out to two other places. One is just to go look at the place will be another 60-mile bike ride or possibly 80 miles. So I'm not looking forward to an 80-mile bike ride. I said I could go and look at it on Sunday. Then I get a phone call from a 724 area code phone number, which is Pittsburgh. It's the Pittsburgh is 412, but 724 is the area all around Pittsburgh. Basically anything outside the city of Pittsburgh, outside or within a radius, southwestern Pennsylvania, that's 724. And I'm like, we've been playing phone tag, and the guy sounded like an older guy. Said, I'm the guy with the place for rent that you asked about. Feel free to give me a call. I want to ask some questions. I want to ask some questions too. And we'll go from there. It was a nice place. Not as nice as the one I just looked at. But believe me, before I go on an 80-mile bicycle ride, I'm going to know the address. I'm going to know if I can get internet. I'm going to know a bunch of things. And then there's another place I saw last night. It was pretty late. So I sent a message out through Facebook Messenger. I'm going to say, just, I don't know what it's like in your town or your area, but if you're looking for an apartment or a place to live, primarily I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace because that's where all the places show up. I'm starting to figure out how to get Facebook Marketplace to show me what I'm looking for in the areas that I'm looking for. I find out if you don't use the map is useless. The map view is useless. But if you know the area code of where you generally want to look and you set a radius and you set a price range, it does seem to grab things that are within that radius. So I could set where I basically set the radius to be anything 20 miles away from where I work. No more than 20, a radius of 20 miles, put a dot where I work, as close as I can to where I work. And I think you can drag a map around with a set of crosshairs and then make that the center of what you, and then, so the apartments don't show up on the map at all. Like, the map is useless. The map that shows all the little dots to where the apartments are and then you click on them and no, that's useless. But if you set a radius with a crosshair where you want the radius to emanate from, it seems to gather the things that are in that area, whether they're going to show up on the map or not. Don't even bother looking at the map other than to set a radius. Seems to work better. So I'm figuring out, how to use the limitations of shitty software. It's shitty software is the name. It's all it is anymore. All software is garbage nowadays. I can't think of a piece of software that I use that's not so riddled with bugs that it's almost unusable. I could probably make good money doing user experience reviews on software, or like I could do. There's so many things I could do, but I got to get into a place where I can focus. And this place where I live right now, when you're surrounded by chaos, you can't focus. Your mind cannot. I had a good analogy for this. I don't even know where it came from, or I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that'll back you up. Frank Lloyd, just pulling it out of my head, Frank Lloyd Wright, the famous architect who designed Falling Water, the Johnson Wax Building, the Guggenheim Museum in New York, Kentuck Knob in western Pennsylvania, the Usonian House. That's the best example of the Usonian House that he designed. Many, many other famous buildings. He said that, if you surround yourself with beauty, I don't know the exact quote, but he basically said if you surround yourself with beauty and everything is in its place and it's organized and everything, is in harmony, then your life will be in harmony. Your life will have structure. Your life won't be a bunch of chaos. But everything he ever built was nothing but chaos until it was finished. And even after the projects are finished, everything he ever built is chaos to maintain. But every single thing that he designed is like out of this world awesome. Like, just is awesome. And it does put you in that mindset when you're at Falling Water, for example. Now, this guy, he would design. The problem with him is that he would design everything in your house, down to the furniture, down to the dishware, the plates, the silverware, the table, the chairs, every single thing in the house he wanted to design himself. Like, if you were going to move into one of his houses, you're going to have to get rid of all your shit. Because you're not going to have any place to put it. And he's already designed everything in the house. And so, like, forget bringing your own couch. And the prime example of this is in Fallingwater in western Pennsylvania, the Kaufman family's waterfall house. Famous. I mean, you've seen it. It's hard pressed to find somebody who hasn't seen or knows what I'm talking about. There's a dining room table in that Mrs. Kaufman, she had to bring something into the house that she chose, and it's the ugliest fucking table. It's one of the ugliest tables I've ever seen. And it's an eyesore, and it sits in that place. It sits where the dining room table would go, but it's like it doesn't match the house at all, and it's just like, where the fuck did this come from? It's ugly, it's stupid. And but she, you can have all the money in the world, but you can't buy good taste. That's what they say. And that's a prime example of that. It doesn't match the house. It doesn't. If you look at the architectural drawings, he designed the table and chairs and all the stuff in the house. And she did a horrible job choosing that table. But women, they want to decorate. But when you bought a house from him, you're not going to decorate. He does everything. There's literally nothing, like down to the plants. What plants are going to be where? Like everything in that house is going to be dictated by him. And agree or disagree, it's a beautiful home. And um, except for the table. And he but it puts you in, when you're there, you feel it. Like you feel the sense of belonging. Like you feel like it puts you in a frame of mind that would allow you to do anything you can dream of, because it's just that it brings that peace and tranquility, not just the nature setting, but the design of the house and how it just brings nature into it brings harmony to the surrounding area. And so, like, even this shitty street that I live on, there's a house right next door to this house. I think it's vacant. It doesn't surprise me. I don't know why anybody in their right mind would want to live on this street with all the noise. But this house that's right next door is actually kind of cool. And it does feel like it's designed to shield the owner from this noisy street here. And if I were to buy a house, if I were to buy that house, I'd try to put up some sort of brick wall or something that would shield the noise and the view of I wouldn't even want to see the road. Like something that would block out the noise, like a steel gate, like something that would turn it in, that would look like a fortress. Something that completely shields your view of this busy road and shields the noise from, one level of shielding to keep the ridiculous amount of noise from coming through the house. And if the walls of the house and the insulation are thick enough, when I'm in the house here that's attached, or that's, the house that's on this property, not this tiny house, but when I'm in the main house, I really don't notice the traffic noise outside, even though it's literally nonstop. You can't go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi without hearing some loud ass thing outside. You hear it in the videos sometimes, but it's always there's a lot you don't hear because the microphone won't pick it up. But it's nonstop. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops, not even for 3 seconds. Um, it's insane. And then now there's this bird. There's some sort of bird right outside my door here. At about 8 o'clock at night, it starts going cheep 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 all night long. From about 8 o'clock at night until about 6, 7 in the morning, I don't know what it is, but there's some sort of bird right outside the door. But every time I open the door and look around, I don't see anything. I don't know where the hell this thing is. I don't know what it is. Might not even be a bird. I don't know. But all you hear is cheep, 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 cheep all night long. Loud. It's like every time I turn around, there's a reason to hate this tiny house. And it's, maybe God wants me to experience an absolute catastrophe here so that I appreciate when I move. I'll appreciate being in a better place more than I might otherwise appreciate it. Because I can look back at this place and be like, whew, nothing will be as bad as that. I just got all the dishes done. The other day, 2 days ago. Completely done. Right now I'm looking at 4 empty coffee jars, a milk jug a glass bottle that needs to be washed, a water bottle that needs washed, a bowl, and there's a reason why my dishes didn't get done last night completely. And so yesterday, before I cooked anything, before I did anything, all the dishes, every single dish, every single thing was clean. All of a sudden the countertops got ants all over it. When there was dirty dishes everywhere, when there was stuff out to attract bugs, not a single ant anywhere. No ants at all. But as soon as I clean everything, and it's 24 hours after everything is spotless, now there's ants all over the countertop. Like, what the fuck? Now there's nothing for the ants to eat. Like, but I would have seen ants are very, once they show up, they're there. You can't get rid of them without putting out something that, deals with them. So I had to lay out an ant trap on the freaking countertop. Because you have to put the ant trap where you see the ants. And it's not a trap, it's like a bait box. I use the taro ant traps, which are it's got like a clear liquid. It's basically borax, sugar, and water. You can make this yourself. It's pretty easy to do, but out of convenience, I just get the pre-made traps. But you set the trap where the ants where you see the ants moving along. Set it right there. Within like 20 minutes yesterday, the thing was covered in ants. Tiny, tiny little ants. But I watched, and yeah, there were 2 trails of ants. Ants coming, ants going. Ants coming, ants going. So they're coming to get the poison, taking it back to the queen. Coming to get the poison, taking it back to the queen. And they're working. They were working their ass off yesterday. I wake up this morning, no ants. There's like 1 or 2 climbing around the trap right now. Maybe 1. But the poison basically doesn't kill them right away. It gives them time because they suck up all the poison, they take it back and they feed it to the queen. And that's what you got to do. You got to kill the queen. If you don't kill the queen, the ants will never stop coming. They'll just never stop. And but once you get them, you got them. once that queen is dead, it's over, bitch. That whole thing's done. So I feel like I gotta leave that trap out for the day. And if I don't see any ants, then I can take the trap set. I'm just gonna set it somewhere off in the corner or something, just to I've already opened the trap. I may as well put it maybe back on the back wall behind the countertop or whatever, kind of take a guess of where they might have been coming from and just have something there that, may as well just put it somewhere and, see if it prevents ants from bothering me again. But it sucks because when you have the specific ant problem, you have to put the trap exactly where the ants are. Then you have to let them come. You have to let them crawl up all over the thing and get up in there, and you'll have a bunch of ants swarming this thing, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone. That's how it works. But you gotta let them do their job. You can't interfere. You can't just kill them. You gotta let them keep coming and going. You just gotta let them do what they do, and then they'll eventually. You gotta let them kill themselves. So it's almost over. Then I can use the countertop again and get all the to do the dishes that I have right now. That's like it's nothing. I'm not even worried about it. I can just piddle around. I can do it. It's very very early today. It is. It was earlier. It was early when I woke up. It's like not even 9 o'clock yet. It's 8. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've been up for about half an hour, which is good. I needed to get up earlier today. I have way more energy than yesterday. That's how it happens. The cycling, the bakery. If I had to do that 5 days a week, ride a bicycle to the bakery and back, 40 miles a day plus 8 hours of labor, I would be completely destroyed. Part of me is thinking of now that we have more daylight and now the sun's coming up, I don't have to use my lights to ride in the morning now. So I'm kind of contemplating changing my availability to be like instead of 4:30, maybe work from like 8:30 to 6. Do like an extra hour and a half. It would be like an extra $30 on my paycheck, to be honest. It's like, an extra hour and a half across 2 days is literally going to be like 30 extra bucks on payday, maybe something like that. It's just, but I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of food. For an extra hour and a half. I don't know though, because when I'm there, I just want to get out of there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I don't know what I'm gonna do about any. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I got to get out of this place. Like I said, if you surround yourself with beauty and structure and order, your life will follow that pattern. If you're surrounded by chaos, your life will follow that pattern. It doesn't even, if you, why do you think people that live in a trailer park are always, why do you think the people that live in the trailer park all act like the trailer park boys? You know what I mean? Like that's real life. Um, but just because you live in a trailer park doesn't mean you have to live in a dump either. Um, and that's how, like I'm just trying to find a place where the hell's going on. I don't know. I hear talking outside, but it could be the neighbors. It's hard to tell like where it's coming from when you hear noises outside. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. This when you're surrounded by chaos, it has a profound effect on you. Um, the places I'm looking at, the apartments I've seen, all of them are better than this. As far as I'm aware, all of them are still available. Every single place I've looked at is still showing up as available on Facebook Marketplace. So that can always work to your advantage. The longer it takes a landlord to get a tenant, the better it is for you when it comes time to, seal the deal or negotiate or try to get something going, like it definitely. So I don't know. Just because it says it's available doesn't mean it is. It just could be someone who's lazy and hasn't updated their ad. Um, but for now, I can get out of here. I'm just wow. I'm just now I'm hearing somebody driving by with a bass that's shaking the house. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like I can't concentrate when I'm here. For a minute I could, but no, this rental unit is it's causing me. This is the least productive I've been since I've been out of prison. By far. By far. Like not even nothing can compare to the level of not getting shit done that I'm going through right now. Um, and there, it's multiple reasons for it. Riding my bike to the bakery for 15 minutes wasn't a big deal. The problem is, I knew, and this was something that I don't know. I'm not mad at any person or anybody, but I really wanted to get a car before I moved because my best friend, he lives in the richest area of Houston. Even people at the bakery are like, why can't you find a place closer to here? And I'm like, who can find a place? Like, because I'm in the richest neighborhood of the city. There's nothing here that's affordable. Nothing. Yeah, if I wanted to pay $4,000 a month to rent a shitty apartment, then I could probably do it. And I'd have to pass 20 fucking background checks. I'd probably have to get, you know, government clearance and all kind. I mean, it's the amount of hoops and bullshit you would jump through just to get a $4,000 a month apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like no, it's not happening. That's why I have to be 20 miles away from where I work because that's where you can start to find places that are affordable. And I want to say a lot, but all I'm saying is I wasn't able to get a car before the place. It was like as soon as I got enough money to get a car, I had to go get a place instead. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not bitter or angry at anybody. It's causing me so much trauma. It's adding to the trauma. It's not helping me because you can't get around this city without a car. You can't. In another city, like, any other city well, not any other city in America, but like Pittsburgh is my comparison because I lived there for so long. You can live pretty far from the city of Pittsburgh and still be able to take a bus. All the buses have bicycle racks on them. So I could ride a bicycle to a bus stop, put my bicycle on the front of the bus and strap it. Like they have bicycle racks that are just, you just put the bicycle on the rack and pull a bar down and it clamps it in place, and then get off the bus and take my bicycle and lock it up somewhere. Like they're just it's so you can get around Pittsburgh without a car. You can live outside the city and still get around. But if you live anywhere close to downtown Pittsburgh, and there's plenty of places that are affordable to rent all over the city. I mean, to get dirt cheap, you might have to live in a bad neighborhood for a bit. I don't know, but there are lots of places to rent, and there's lots of ways to get around. So even in the dead of winter, I'd be able to take a bus to work. It wouldn't be great, but no, here in Houston, that's it. Car, bicycle, car. And the bicycle is like you're putting your light. You are literally playing Russian roulette every time you sit on that bicycle seat and go somewhere. Because the people in Houston do not want you on their road with your bicycle. They want to kill you. They want to kill you, but they know that they would go to prison or that they would possibly go to prison, and that's the only reason that they don't kill you. So it's taken a toll. It's taken a toll. Like, for example, I just saw an ad. There's a bicycle shop in Galveston. Now, it's like a bicycle rental, and they sell like beach cruisers and like they sell used bikes. I checked this out. I looked at their website and everything. They're looking for a full time bicycle mechanic right now. And I'm like, I've already thought that I wanted to move to Galveston. I'm like, if I gotta live in this fucking dump, I may as well live on the beach. Like, why not? People don't like the beach here. They're like, oh, it's not as nice as Miami, or it's not as nice as Clearwater, or Florida beaches, white sand, and everybody's gonna. But it's a beach. It's the beach. It's the ocean. It's a beach town. It's got a beach town vibe. Like, it's not the worst place on earth to live. I mean, I don't know. I've never been there. But the problem is, it's 60 miles away. So, if I had a car, I could say, hey, I'm interested in that job that you have available. And I'm planning on moving at the end of the month. Maybe I could find a place to live in Galveston. How would I do this without a car? How the fuck could I even think about this? Just to go to the bike shop and have like an interview, I would have to go on a 60-mile bicycle ride each way. They'd probably be like, wow, they would respect that. They're a bicycle shop. If I ride a bicycle 60 miles to go on an interview, I'm still thinking about possibly, I'm thinking about reaching out to them. Maybe have an interview over the phone and see what they're looking for, but I'm just kind of saying, look, I would like to, I'm interested, but I live in Spring, and I would like to, I'd have to move down there. And then how am I gonna but then how am I gonna go, like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna go down there and look for a place, and how logistically, how am I gonna do all this? So I don't know. It's like I can't even think of how I would, with a car, no problem. 60 miles, it's a long drive, but it's an hour and some change. Probably worse depending on what time of day you go. But I could go there in a car, talk to them. Then, okay, I want to go look. Then, if I had to go look for a place to live, oh, I can drive down there and back. With a car, I could do it. If I wanted to ride a bicycle down there, just to go there and back 120 miles plus, you've got to factor in other things. So it's probably going to be more like 130 miles. So 60, 70 miles there, talk to them, do whatever, however it goes, 60, 70 miles back. It's not like you can commute like that on a bicycle every day. Every day, get out of here. Um, and they're probably not going to pay much more than what I'm making right now. but I am curious enough to reach out to them and see, at least just tell them what, just send them a quick email and say, look, I would even be willing to ride my bicycle down there. And because, if God can do things, he can open up opportunities, and there are places to rent down there that are affordable. That's part of the reason why I'm like, why wouldn't I not want to live down there? Live on the beach and have and fine, like, I have to live in a crappy little apartment, but I can walk to the beach. That would be freaking dope. Would I take advantage? I would take advantage of that. I would go out a couple times a week and just go swim or go, I would take advantage of living on the beach. So anyway, I did just a quick couple of searches, and to ride a bicycle down there 60, 70 miles, um where can I camp? Like, if I wanted to just spend the night, 1 or 2 nights down in Galveston camping, I could load up my bicycle with some camping gear, enough to be comfortable. I have a bivy sack, I'm pretty sure. Yes. I have a bivy sack, I have a hammock, I have a rack with panniers. I could deck out my Red Rocket bike to accommodate sleeping for a couple of nights in Galveston. Where would I camp? Well, there's a state park with campsites. I don't think they're physically right on the beach, but they're right there, yeah. So there's places to camp down. There's a campground. I don't know what the campsites cost. They might be overpriced. I don't know, but whatever. 30 bucks a night for a campsite. I don't know if it's that much or if it's less or more. I don't know. Could be more. Some of these campgrounds are fucking ridiculous, but it is a state park. So it's probably not terribly ridiculous, but I didn't even look at what the prices are for tent camping. But they've got showers and stuff there, so it wouldn't be horrible. You could probably buy a bundle of firewood, um, have a little campfire each night, whatever. I'm gonna be tired, so I'm not gonna, not gonna have any problem falling asleep. I could certainly do this. I could go down there and meet with them, camp out on the beach for a minute, but the campground's 14 miles down the island from where the bike shop is. And it's farther away from the bridge that I would have to take to get back to the mainland. So 70 let's say 70 miles to the bike shop, 14 miles to camp, and then 84, let's just say 90 miles to get home when I leave the campground to come home. So logistically, how does that even work? And then how do I find a place to live when I'm this far away? Do I ride a bicycle down there and camp for 4 or 5 days until I find a place to live and go look at a bunch of places and still have to go on like 20, 30 mile rides each, like, and then what do I look like? I'm going to be ragged going, how do I do this? I wouldn't be able to do any freelance work or anything else. It's killing me. Every time I get a couple $1,000 put away, where I could even just start looking for a vehicle, it gets ripped out from my hands so fast. See? Listen to that. Oh my God. 20 you can't go an hour without hearing that. Can't go an hour without hearing that. It's crazy. This place is the most ridiculously shitty place I've ever lived in my life. This spot right here. I've never lived in a place this bad. In my college days, like, I'm trying to think, the worst place I ever lived was my first house that I lived in when I went to art school. Yeah. That was the worst place I've ever lived in my life. 4 of us lived in the same house. The bedroom I had in this house was bigger than this tiny house. We could take hot showers. It was a dump. It was a massive dump. And the noise level was pretty high. Now I've got a fucking fly flying around. And the thing is, I got a fly flying around in here, and it won't stop anywhere. It just. I've got a fly swatter, but it never stops flying. So yeah, get the fuck away from me. It doesn't land anywhere. It never lands. It just keeps buzzing around. And I'm like, if I could see it, if I could kill it, I would. Like, this place just needs to be, like, this place has become unlivable. But I'm hoping. But even so, until I find out about this place that I looked at on Sunday, it doesn't exist. It's not real. So I have to keep looking. And I'll keep looking today. I'll check out, like, I'm not going to call or if I see something in Galveston that's like, holy crap, yes. Like, maybe I would, maybe reach out to both of them, see if I can figure out a thing there. Moving costs will be pretty ridiculous. To get a U-Haul, that's like 150 miles on a U-Haul rental. Like, it's just. I am as stressed out as my scatterbrained video right now indicates. It's so difficult right now. Getting to the I need to get into a place that's not 100% chaos, nonstop chaos. Homelessness was less chaotic than living in this fucking dump. I'm telling you, you can choose the wrong place to live and it will set your life into a tailspin, a downward spiral, if you get yourself in the wrong place to live. It has such a profound effect. And I can say this from experience because moving into the right place, finding the right place to live, can send your life into the total opposite direction. I was struggling for a long time, just constantly digging a hole. Life kept getting, I kept making a little bit more money, but then the bills I could never get on top of it. And I moved out to that place out in Amish country, this beautiful home next to the waterfall. I've talked about this a whole lot. And it didn't happen overnight, but life took off. I was worried about moving out there and the logistics and everything that living out there would entail. And it had its stressful times. But overall, life took off in such a radically different direction, and it was so much better. Things started to fall into place. I could concentrate. I had my own office. I had, there were days I couldn't concentrate very well, but for the most part, no, I could really sink. I really dedicated myself to my career and my work and taking care of my son, and things just took off. Things took off. And it really started to hit during the COVID scam. It really but things were so stressful during that time because of the COVID scam and all the bullshit that the government was doing to us. And I was fighting back against that on top of trying to build a life. And things were I hit my peak. I literally hit my peak in life in terms of I was doing the best I've ever done in my life the week that the FBI came to my house. I was at the top the highest I've ever been in my life the day they came. which kills me because now I'm like, then I'm at the low. I went from the highest point in my life that I ever reached, ever, to the lowest overnight, that fast. That's a hard thing to, like, people don't fall that, you know. It's like Puff Daddy living in a fucking mansion and all of a sudden he's living in an orange jumpsuit in the worst hellhole prison in America. It literally is one of the worst places in America to be in jail, where he is right now. And he's rich, so he ain't having he's not having as many problems as most people there. Plus, they probably put him on one of the better units where, you know, there's less shit going on, but no, he's I mean, that's a pretty big fall. You know, if he deserved it, he deserved it. We'll find out. But anyway, let's see the bicycling. Amazon. Oh, it's such a mess. I had to buy all these parts and I'm waiting on two parts to come still. A cassette, which is looking like it might show up today. It was supposed to be here on Saturday, but I'm telling you, out of all the shipping companies, the postal service is the best, and they constantly surprise me. The tracking number said it would be here on Saturday. It's looking like it's going to be here today. It's Thursday. Um, but Amazon, so I had to order two chains. One chain arrived. I ordered two of the same chain so that I could steal links from another chain to make it longer. And well, I got a notice from Amazon today that they had to cancel the order for the second chain because they don't have any more in stock. And I'm like, crap. So now I've got to send the chain back, and I just placed an order for two new chains. And the cool thing about it is the chains that I'm ordering are better than the chains I was going to have. So I'm okay with that. And they're supposed to be here on Saturday, which is fine with me because I want to get the work done on Sunday. So as long as I have all the parts by Saturday, I can do the work on Sunday. But now, now I have to return three chain rings and a chain. So that I'm up to like $150 over what I was supposed to spend. It's just the money is insane. Like I bought a bunch of stuff, had to send two things back, haven't taken them back yet, and now I'm thinking, I think when I get all these refunds, they're just going to have it sitting in my Amazon account balance. I don't think I'm going to get refunded to my credit card. I forgot to, like, I didn't look closely at the refunds. So all the money that I've had to spend to fix my bike is out of my checking account. And I don't think it's going to go back. I think they're just going to give me credit on Amazon, which in the grand scheme of life, I'm not opposed to that because I'll just, I'll need something from Amazon and I'll just have the money to do it. But it sucks because money is so tight right now because of having to move at the end of the month. And I've been scrambling to try and get this done, and I'm starting to like doubt myself that maybe I shouldn't have fixed my bike this month because at this point I'd have like an extra $300+ in the account because I have to keep shelling money out to get these bike parts, and now I've accumulated all these things I've got to send back. It started out, but this is how it goes with bicycles. Two of the parts were my mistake. One of them was because I didn't. It's just I've had this happen on Amazon before where I had to do a project and I had to get a bunch of different things, and I had to like I got the things and I had to send them some things back, get more things, send a couple things back, get another thing, send it back, computer equipment, those kinds of things. And just kind of keep going back and forth until I finally get everything I need and what's going to work and what's not going to work figured out. And so, it's kind of a mess. But I started this process before I even knew that garage apartment was available on Saturday. I started this process a week ago today. I think it was Thursday. I ordered all the stuff. Maybe Friday. I placed the original order to kick off, and I thought that was it. I was just going to order this order and then fix up my bike the following weekend. But now this entire week has been, oh, that's not going to work. I got to send it back. I got to get another thing, order another thing, send the other, start this process. So I've got to get 4 things refunded. And it's like $125 worth of refunds coming my way. And I can't even figure out what I spent at this point. I can if I sit down and look at it, but it sucks because I blew a bunch of money to fix my bicycles that maybe I could have stretched out for another month and waited until after I moved. But at the same time, when I see something wrong with the bike that's potentially going to be a major problem, it's like I have to fix it now because I've gotten burned. I've burned myself twice. Granted, they were tires, but I've burned myself twice already in the last several months because I saw something was wrong with my bike and I decided not to fix it today. And, and then like a few days later, boom, I'm stuck somewhere because I didn't fix the problem and just ignore and just said I'm going to put that off. So I'm trying not to put things off. It's like fixing a car. If I use a car to go back and forth to my job and something goes wrong, I see a drip. If you see something dripping under your car, are you going to let it go and just go, I need to get another month out of this before I take it? You might not be able to fix it. You might not be able to do anything about it because you can't afford to. But if you had the means to fix it, even if it was going to be a hardship, would you let it go for another month, or would you go get the leak fixed so that your car doesn't blow up on you when you're in and then leave you without anything? So that's basically where it's at right now with the bikes. I saw a pretty major problem that I've been riding my bike with a stretched out, worn out chain for a while. But that's the kind of thing that could leave me stranded somewhere if I don't take care of it. And it just turned into, if I just replace the chain, it might be worse because of how worn out the chain is and how old the drivetrain really is. It's like, I don't think that this is going to be a good idea to to not replace this. And it wasn't a ton of money, but I don't know. I got to look into it. I got to look at Amazon and see how I structured these. Like, if I'm only going to get Amazon credit for the refunds instead of the money going back into my bank account, that's $125 now. I'm running out of food. I keep putting off grocery shopping. Like, can I do $25 a week at the grocery store at this point and just get ramen noodles and bullshit? I don't know. It's fucked up. But I have to be able to cough up money for the move. If I move into this garage apartment, it's the most expensive one. I got to come up with $2,200 just to move in. The place that I still have available, I could do it. I think it was 1425. Right? No. 75. 22 is for plus 950. 1425. I'd have to come up with $1,425 but I would also have to get electricity turned on, so that could turn into another $300. Um, the other place, all utilities are included, I'd have to come up with 2,200 by the end of the month, or in a reasonable amount of time. When I do the numbers between now and the end of the month, I can do it and have money left over. Plus, I've got to pay for the moving van, moving costs, whatever random shit's going to happen when you move. Um, got to be able to have, I'll probably have to have enough, like if I want to go to rent a U-Haul truck, I'll have to have way more than the fee for the U-Haul truck, because they're probably going to put a hold on on the debit card that I'm using to pay for it, to offset mileage and all that stuff. So I'm going to need a certain amount of funds available on that account in order to be able to rent the van to move. And the whole thing is just awful. This whole experience. Look at what it's done to me. It has completely destroyed me in a span of, what is it, 30, what's the day today, 8th? It's the 8th. I just got a notice that my cassette is being delivered today. United States Postal Service. it that's crazy. They said it wasn't going to be here until sometime between Saturday and next Tuesday, and here it's Thursday and it's coming. It's here almost. It'll be here today. So now I just got to wait for the chains. The chains I should have had already, but the consolation prize is that my chain is going to be a better chain, and it's going to look nicer than the chain that I'm sending back. So, and I wasn't too thrilled with the chain that I got, because it's kind of it's a lower end chain. So I'm getting a higher quality product. It's costing more. But a drivetrain on a bicycle, this is going to be, this repair that I'm doing to my bicycle is going to be good for the chain. I won't even have to, maybe a year. If I put 2,000 miles on the bike in the course of a year, it might stretch the chain out enough to replace the chain. But as long as I replace the chain when it wears out, the drivetrain parts, the parts that are on the bike right now, are like 30 years old and then some. One chain ring is from a bike that I got in 1992. Another chain ring is from a crank set I bought in 1994. The rear cassette gearing, I don't know when that came into my life. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how old it is, but it's probably early 2000s. I don't know. And I don't know when I put that chain on. And I just replaced the derailleur pulleys on the derailleur, which is a high-end derailleur from 1995. But the derailleur pulleys that I put on it are better than the ones that it came with. So when you look at how old that stuff is, putting new stuff on it, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about replacing it for a while. I think everything's going to work. Other than replacing a chain for $25-30 at the end of a year, because the second chain that I buy will have 114 links, and I'm not going to need any more than 10 links off of that chain to make the chain long and to make the other chain long enough to work with my system. And so I'm going to need, 114 divided by 10 is, 11 years of having to buy one chain every time I need a chain. I'll just keep that shortened chain, and I'll have extra, if I need a length of chain for, whatever reason, I'll have it. So it's messed up. I'm looking forward to getting the bike fixed. I didn't want to have to drop all this money, but eventually when I replace the drivetrain, pretty much everything on that bicycle is going to be new. There are a couple of things that I'm thinking about possibly doing to the Red Rocket. I'm thinking about maybe putting a thumb shifter on the handlebar for the front derailleur. Just an old school mountain bike thumb shifter. And using that so that I don't have to reach down to the frame to shift. But those are like down the road things. They won't be, nothing is terribly expensive in and of itself. But I have a bell on my handlebars that I use frequently, especially here in Houston. And I don't want a thumb shifter might get in the way of my bell, so I'd have to figure out where am I going to put the bell now. So it's kind of like I do upgrades small, one little bit at a time, and I try not to just completely rebuild the bike from ground up if I don't have to. And so, like, if I have to re-grease the bottom bracket and the headset, for example, I'm going to wait a little longer till another bicycle maintenance day comes around. Because those could probably use a little bit of TLC too. Well, the bottom bracket's a sealed cartridge, so no, that doesn't have to ever be taken apart. But just tightening and checking things and making sure they're solid and locked in and all that. I just haven't had time. And every time I get new tools, I'm getting to the point where I'm still missing tools. Like I might get a derailleur hanger alignment tool if my shifting doesn't get fixed by replacing the drivetrain. I've already got a few bookmarked tools that I might want to straighten out the derailleur hanger, even though you're not really supposed to bend aluminum bikes. But a derailleur hanger is designed, like, it has to have some sort of fluidity because they wouldn't have been able to adjust it at the factory. And so if it is out of alignment, you can tweak it and kind of massage it back into place using a special tool. So just one thing at a time. It's not going to happen this weekend. I'm not getting the tool. I'm not spending any more money. I'm trying not to spend any more money on this repair weekend. But when you look at it in terms of, okay, fine, if all of this stuff cost me, let's say it cost $250 to get both bicycles dialed in, how much does a car repair usually cost? And by dialed in, these repairs that I'm doing for these bicycles will generally last the lifetime of the bicycle at this point. The drivetrain replacement, I'm probably never going to have to do again. The seat post for the road bike, that's permanent. Never going to have to replace that again. These water bottle cages are lifetime cages. I may have to replace a 50-cent O-ring on two of them that are, that they don't even really need it because I've been using them without the O-rings for years, but just to like as a maintenance thing, like just to make your bike as perfect as you can make it, I might just pick them up one of these days. Maybe pick up a handful of them so that I have extras, because I'm going to use these water bottle cages on every bike. But it's just, one thing after the next after the next. I don't really feel bad about having spent a couple $100 and then some on fixing up my main form of transportation and having two, both bicycles fixed, not just one. But it's still, timing is bad. Timing was bad because I need to cough up big money to move. And this might have, I might have shot myself in the foot a little bit with this. But I also know that when I don't consider it to be a waste of money at all. And I have, I didn't get like the most expensive shit, but I don't get the cheapest junk either. At the end of the day, God always seems to come through, and it just seems to things just seem to work out. So I'm going to have that faith. And now I'm in an hour, 10 minutes on this video segment. So I'm going to say peace out, and I'll just keep talking and stringing them along.